Stop. Right now, while you're watching this video, $300 billion just disappeared from global markets. Your retirement account? Bleeding. Your stock portfolio? Crushed. Bitcoin? Down to 70K, and nobody's telling you why. While you were sleeping, a $5 trillion tsunami started forming in Tokyo, and it's heading straight for your portfolio. This isn't another correction. This is the beginning of something far more dangerous, something that's been building for 50 years, and the smartest money in the world is already positioning for what comes next. I'm about to show you exactly what's happening, why it's happening, and what you need to do before this gets worse, because when Japan's $5 trillion house of cards finally collapses, there won't be a safe place to hide, except one. Comment below if you're moving money this week, and hit subscribe, because what I am about to reveal changes everything you think you know about the global financial system. Let's start with something they're not telling you on CNBC. Right now, the biggest story in global finance isn't happening in New York. It's not happening in Washington. It's happening in Tokyo. And if you're not paying attention, you're about to get absolutely destroyed. Bloomberg just published 3 articles in the same week. Listen to these headlines. Japan in close contact with the United States on the yen as needed. Japan's bond market has a warning for America. Apollo warns, risk of yen carry trade unwind as speculators cut their bets. You know what that means in plain English? Panic. Apollo Management's Torsten Slok just confirmed that speculative futures positioning has swung sharply, highlighting that carry trades can unwind quickly. When billionaire fund managers start using words like can unwind quickly, that's code for we're terrified. But here's what they're not telling you. Japan isn't just another country having financial problems. Japan is the foundation of cheap global money. For decades, they've had interest rates at 0, sometimes negative. Think about that. You could borrow money for free. Sometimes you could borrow money and get paid to do it. Hit like if you think negative interest rates are absolutely insane. Now, here's where it gets really concerning. Because of these 0 and negative rates, Japan became the world's piggy bank. Everyone borrowed Japanese yen for free, then invested it in higher yielding assets around the world. US stocks, real estate, treasuries, crypto. This is called the yen carry trade, and it's been the secret engine pumping up global asset prices for 30 years. The total amount? Over $5 trillion. That's not a typo. $5 trillion of borrowed yen floating around the global financial system, propping up everything you own. And right now, that trade is breaking. Stay with me, because the next part is crucial to understanding why your portfolio is about to get hit. On January 14th, 2025, something unprecedented happened. Scott Bessent, the U.S. Treasury Secretary, issued what's called a rate check on the Japanese yen. Now, if you don't know what that means, let me translate. Scott Bessent called up major banks and the New York Fed and asked, if I wanted to buy a massive amount of yen right now to protect it from collapsing, what price would I get? That question hit the news wires like a nuclear bomb, because a rate check is the government's way of saying, we're this close to an emergency intervention. We might have to bail out another country's currency. Let me ask you something. I thought this administration was America first. I thought we were done bailing out other countries. So why is the U.S. Treasury Secretary preparing to bail out Japan? The answer will shock you. Look at this chart. This is the U.S. 10-year Treasury yield versus the Japanese 10-year bond yield in blue. And in red, that's the U.S. dollar versus the Japanese yen. Do you see what's wrong here? They're moving in opposite directions. That's not supposed to happen. When yields go up in a healthy country, it means investors trust that country. Money flows in. The currency gets stronger. That's what happens in normal markets. But look at Japan. Yields are rising, but the yen is crashing. This is the behavior of a failed state. This is Argentina. This is Venezuela. This is not supposed to happen to the world's 3rd largest economy. And here's the terrifying part. Japan's debt-to-GDP ratio is 250%. That's the highest in the world. Higher than Greece, higher than Italy, higher than any developed nation in history. Let me break this down in simple terms. Normal country, interest rates go up, money flows in, currency gets stronger, investors trust it. Fragile country, interest rates go up, investors panic, currency collapses, market says, you can't pay this back. Japan, the world's 3rd largest economy, is now trading like a fragile country. This is the signal. This is the warning shot that the fiat system as we know it is reaching its breaking point. Share this with someone who needs to see it. Okay, so Japan's in trouble. Why should you care? You live in America, Europe, Australia, wherever. Why does Tokyo's bond market affect your 401k? Here's why. Japan owns $5 trillion of overseas assets, and the overwhelming majority of those assets are American. Japan's foreign holdings are dominated by U.S. treasuries, U.S. stocks, U.S. real estate. Japan is essentially backed by U.S. assets. Their entire financial system is collateralized against America. Here's how the money flows. The US prints dollars because we're the world reserve currency. We export those dollars around the world. Countries like Japan take those dollars and buy US assets. This artificially inflates US stock prices and keeps treasury yields low. Americans feel rich because their portfolios go up. But it's all built on borrowed money from Japan. And now that system is reversing because Japan is facing inflation at home. Their people are getting crushed by rising prices. The Bank of Japan is being forced to raise interest rates for the first time in 17 years. And when they raise rates, it becomes more expensive for Japanese institutions to hold overseas assets. So what do? They sell. They repatriate capital. They bring their money back home. And when $5 trillion starts flowing out of US markets, what happens to your stocks? What happens to your bonds? They crash. This is the contagion. This is how Tokyo reaches Wall Street. This is how your portfolio gets obliterated by something happening 6,000 miles away that you've never even heard about. But here's what they're not telling you. Let me show you exactly how this mathematical impossibility plays out. Japan's government debt is currently 1,200 trillion yen. That's 8.2 trillion US dollars at current exchange rates. Their annual tax revenue, only 70 trillion yen, about $480 billion. Do the math with me. If interest rates in Japan rise to just 2%, and they're already at 0.5% and climbing, the annual interest expense on that debt becomes 24 trillion yen. That's $165 billion just to pay the interest. That's 34% of their entire tax revenue going just to service the debt. Not healthcare, not infrastructure, not pensions, just interest payments. And remember, they have to refinance 180 trillion yen of bonds every single year. If yields keep rising when they refinance, the interest expense explodes exponentially. This is the debt trap. This is the mathematical certainty that fiat currencies always face. And here's the absolutely terrifying part that nobody's talking about. The Bank of Japan owns 50% of all Japanese government bonds. They printed yen and bought their own debt. That worked fine when rates were zero because the interest the government paid just went back to the Bank of Japan, which gave it back to the government. It was circular, it was fake, but it worked. Now rates are rising. Now the Bank of Japan is sitting on $350 billion in unrealized losses on those bond holdings. The same problem that killed Silicon Valley Bank and Signature Bank in March 2023. If the BOJ had to mark those bonds to market, they would be insolvent. The central bank of the world's third largest economy is technically bankrupt. This is where it gets really concerning, and you need to understand this before I show you what's next. Look at this chart. This is the federal funds rate in blue. That's the interest rate the Federal Reserve controls. Notice how it's been coming down since late 2023. Now look at the red line. That's the 10-year Treasury yield, the rate the US government pays to borrow money for 10 years. Do you see the problem? The Fed is cutting rates, but the 10-year yield is rising. That's not supposed to happen. These two lines are supposed to move together. In 2001, they moved together. In 2007, they moved together. In 2019, they moved together. But in 2024, 2025, and now 2026, they're diverging. Why? Debt. Too much debt. A complete loss of confidence in America's ability to pay it back. The market is saying, we don't care what the Fed does. We don't trust the US government to pay back $36 trillion in debt. We want higher interest rates to compensate for the risk. This is called a bond market revolt. And when the bond market revolts, the Fed loses control. Let me show you the death spiral. 1, yields rise because investors demand higher returns. 2, that makes it more expensive for the government to borrow money. 3, so the government has to borrow more money to pay the increased interest expense. 4, that increases the total debt. 5, which makes investors even more nervous. 6, so yields rise higher. 7, which makes borrowing even more expensive. 8, and the cycle repeats. This is how empires collapse. This is how currencies die. This is how the 250-year financial experiment known as America reaches its endgame. And we're watching it happen in real time. Let me walk you through exactly how this crisis travels from Tokyo to your portfolio. Step 1, Japan's bond market destabilizes, JGB stress. Step 2, this causes yen volatility and weakness. Step 3, Japanese institutions panic and deleverage, sell their overseas assets. Step 4, this causes the US stock market to sell off. Step 5, US stock selling creates panic, so investors flee to bonds. Step 6, but wait, everyone's selling bonds at the same time. Step 7, bond prices fall, yields rise. Step 8, rising yields make everything more expensive to finance. Step 9, markets go risk off, sell everything risky. First, step 10, Bitcoin and crypto get obliterated. That's the chain reaction. That's how Wall Street reaches Bitcoin. And we're watching it play out right now. Bitcoin crashed from $105,000 to below $80,000. The NASDAQ is down 12% from its peak. Treasury yields are spiking. Gold is hitting all-time highs. This is risk-off. This is deleveraging. This is the market screaming, something is very wrong. Now, here's the part that's hard for crypto investors to accept. Bitcoin is not priced as digital gold yet. It's not treated as a safe haven. Right now, Bitcoin is 50% monetary asset, 50% tech stock. It's correlated with the NASDAQ, with liquidity, with risk appetite. When dollar liquidity dries up, like it did recently with a $300 billion fall, driven by a $200 billion rise in the Treasury General Account, Bitcoin sells off first. Arthur Hayes, the former CEO of BitMEX, just posted his dollar liquidity chart showing this exact dynamic. He wrote, "Bitcoin is falling, not a surprise, given the fall in dollar liquidity." Bitcoin is an expression of currency debasement. It reacts sensitively to dollar liquidity, but it doesn't front-run it yet like gold does. Why? Because the market doesn't understand it yet. Bitcoin has a $1.5 trillion market cap, about the size of Tesla. It's just not big enough or well understood enough to trade like gold, but that's changing. Now, before you panic and sell everything, let me show you something important. On February 3rd, 2025, the ISM Manufacturing Index came in at 52.6%. That's the highest reading in over 40 months. That number shows U.S. manufacturing has re-entered expansion for the first time since 2021. Why does this matter? Because historically, major crypto bull runs didn't begin until the ISM moved above 55%. In 2017, the altcoin explosion happened after ISM crossed 55%. In 2021, same thing. We're at 52.6% now. We're not there yet. But this is the first real signal that the macro headwinds that have been suppressing risk assets and preventing alt season are starting to ease. This is how bull markets begin. Not with euphoria, not with Elon Musk tweeting, not with Michael Saylor buying more Bitcoin. Bull markets begin with stabilization, with manufacturing expansion, with liquidity quietly beginning to flow again. Comment below, do you think Bitcoin starts behaving more like gold in the next cycle, or does liquidity still rule? Here's what I think is happening. We're not watching the collapse of the system. We're watching the transition to the next monetary regime. Japan can't pay back 250% debt to GDP without either A, printing massive amounts of money, inflation, currency debasement, B, defaulting, depression, systemic collapse. There's no third option. There's no painless path. And the United States is facing the same choice with $36 trillion in debt. Every developed nation is facing this choice. The old playbook, print money, suppress interest rates, inflate asset prices, is breaking. The market is starting to call the bluff. Bond vigilantes are waking up. And when they fully wake up, the repricing will be violent. But here's the thing about regime changes. They create the biggest wealth transfer opportunities in history. Those who understand what's happening position themselves correctly. Those who don't get wiped out. Gold is already telling us the story. It's at all-time highs because it front-run shows. Bitcoin follows with a lag. But when Bitcoin catches up, when the market finally understands it as a monetary asset, not a tech stock, the repricing will be explosive. Here's what almost nobody is paying attention to. The ISM Manufacturing Index just hit 52.6%, the highest in 40 months. That's a leading indicator that economic growth is re-accelerating. When ISM crosses 55%, historically, risk assets rip. Alt season begins. Bitcoin dominance falls as capital rotates into higher beta plays. We're not there yet, but we're close. Additionally, watch these catalysts. 1. Japan's next bond auction, February 15th, 2025. If yields spike above 1.5%, expect chaos. 2. US CPI data, February 12th, 2025. If inflation falls below 2.5%, the Fed can cut rates more aggressively. 3. The Treasury's quarterly refunding announcement, February 28th, 2025. If they issue less debt than expected, liquidity improves. 4. Bitcoin ETF inflows. They've slowed recently, but if MicroStrategy follows through on their $42 billion purchase plan, that's 400,000 BTC of demand. 5. The U.S. Strategic Bitcoin Reserve. If Trump signs an executive order creating it, that's 200,000 to 1 million BTC that gets permanently removed from circulation. Any one of these could be the catalyst that ends this correction and starts the next leg up. The macro is setting up. The liquidity is starting to flow. The bond market stress is peaking, which means resolution is coming. Either the central banks capitulate and print, bullish for Bitcoin, or the system breaks and people flee to hard assets, also bullish for Bitcoin. Both paths lead to the same destination, Bitcoin at 250,000 plus by 2026. So what do? First, understand what's happening. You just did that. You're now ahead of 99% of investors who have no idea that Japan is the most important story in finance. Second, watch the ISM number. If it crosses 55% in the next few months, that's your signal that macro conditions are shifting bullish. Third, watch dollar liquidity. Arthur Hayes publishes his liquidity charts regularly. When that $300 billion that just drained starts flowing back in, risk assets will rip. Fourth, watch Japan's 10-year yield versus the yen. If that divergence continues, we're heading for a crisis. If it stabilizes, we get a relief rally. Fifth, position accordingly. I'm not giving financial advice, but I'll tell you what the smart money is doing. They're accumulating gold. They're accumulating Bitcoin. They're preparing for a world where fiat currency loses credibility and hard assets are the only safe haven. The wealth continuum is shifting. Those who see it position themselves. Those who don't get left behind. Let me leave you with this. We're living through a game theory problem that has only two solutions. Path A, inflation. Central banks print money to pay the debts. Currencies debase. Asset prices explode. Gold and Bitcoin go to the moon. Savers and wage earners get destroyed. Asset holders get rich. Path B, deflation. Central banks don't print. Defaults cascade through the system. Depression-level unemployment. Asset prices collapse. Then governments print anyway to avoid revolution. Which brings us back to Path A. There is no Path C. There's no responsible fiscal policy option. That ship sailed 36 trillion ago. So the question isn't, will they print? The question is, when do they print and how much? And the answer is, soon and a lot. Because the alternative is system collapse, political chaos, and social breakdown. No government will choose that. They'll choose inflation every single time. That's why gold is at all-time highs. That's why Bitcoin will follow. That's why real estate, commodities, and scarce assets are the only place to hide. The wealth continuum is splitting. On one side, those who hold dollars, bonds, and cash are going to watch their purchasing power evaporate. On the other side, those who hold Bitcoin, gold, real estate, and businesses are going to watch their wealth compound at unprecedented rates. This is the greatest wealth transfer in human history, and it's happening right now. The only question is, which side of the continuum will you be on? If this video opened your eyes, do me a favor. Share it with one person who needs to understand what's coming. Hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and I'll see you in the next breakdown.